So no doubt you're feeling a little bit sick at the size of the task you've got over the next 12 months, because in arguably the toughest even trading conditions that this industry has seen, you've got to find a way of driving high margin revenue through your business to help sustain you through these trading conditions. But also you've got to do that without filling your business full of discounts. Now, when I started this business, I knew that we had to do something to help us prove the incremental impact of the work we did. And I knew it had to be incredibly robust. I knew that because, number one, I'd been an operator, and hospitality is by and large an operationally led business. And also because I'd been a marketer for a long time, and marketing had previously not been known as being the most commercially savvy of functions. So I knew that we had to come up with something that was irrefutable and everybody can trust and believe in. And so we created the concept of control groups, and we built out a really robust methodology, and it was accepted by every CFO. I don't think we've ever had a CFO has rejected the methodology. And that was working great for a long time. But then about 18 months ago, increasingly we were speaking to our clients, and they were saying that they could see the benefit of what we were doing, but they weren't necessarily seeing it on their top line. And this said a couple of things to me. Number one, that the work we were doing on acquisition and driving frequency for our clients was possibly masking some underlying sales decline. And I think we've really seen that play out over the last sort of 18 months or so. But more worryingly, all of that acquisition and frequency work was hiding or masking a much bigger problem, and that's the really super low retention rates that we have in hospitality. Now, when we're talking about churn or retention, we're talking about the moment that somebody who has previously transacted with you becomes zero value. So we're not saying we've got to keep everybody on your database. There are lots of people on your database we can cheerfully let go because they're probably costing you money to keep there. But these are people that have previously been on your database and previously been transacting, sometimes really super high value people who have previously been transacting and have now disappeared. They've become zero value, even though they're still sitting there on your database making all the vanity metrics look great. Now, I knew we had to do something about this, so we built a model, and we built a model that works to 95.2% accuracy, that not only tells you your historic churn and retention, but most importantly, it predicts how people are going to behave to 95% accuracy over the next 12 months. And this is incredible because knowledge is power. And if we know how people are going to behave, we know that we can change that trajectory. And we know that if people are predicted to spend good money with you, we can do all we can and make sure they're receiving the right comms to compel them to that action and make sure that they deliver on that, or even more so. And if we can see that they're going to churn, and bearing in mind we do this to 95.2% accuracy, if we can see that they're headed for churn, then we can take action to intercept that churn and make sure that we retain them and nurture them back into becoming the high value customers they once before. Now, all of this means that you have a massive untapped opportunity in your database. A truly massive one. And I'm not talking about just getting any old revenue through the business. I'm talking about high margin revenue that doesn't rely on loads of offers and discounts. Exactly what you need to power you through this next 12 months and beyond. Now, I'm going to be running a webinar in 2 or 3 weeks, and in it, I'm going to describe how we found an £11 million sales black hole for one business who were losing customers to churn 3 times faster than they were gaining them to acquisition, how we spotted it, what we did, and how we started to chip away at that £11 million sales gap that they were going to have in the year ahead, that we predicted that they were going to have. So I'll tell you how we did it, and we'll do that in a couple of weeks. But if you want to talk a bit more about the opportunity in your database in the meantime, just give me a shout. Happy to meet.